Long ago, in a small fishing village along the Swahili coast, there lived a humble fisherman named Juma. Juma was not the wealthiest man in the village, but he was known for his kindness, patience, and deep respect for the ocean. Every morning, before the sun painted the horizon with its golden hue, Juma would sail his small dhow into the vast waters of the Indian Ocean, casting his net with the hope of catching enough fish to feed his family. One season, the ocean was unkind. The tides were unpredictable, the fish were scarce, and many fishermen returned home with empty nets. Some villagers resorted to desperate measures, using harmful methods like poison and overfishing to increase their catch. But Juma refused to follow their ways. He believed the ocean had a spirit of its own and that if he remained patient and respectful, the sea would one day reward him. One morning, after casting his net far into the water, Juma felt an unusual weight pulling at it. His heart pounded with excitement. Perhaps he had finally caught enough fish to feed his family for days. With great effort, he pulled and pulled, struggling against the resistance. But when he finally lifted the net, he gasped. Instead of fish, a single large turtle with a beautifully patterned shell lay tangled in his net. Its shell shimmered in shades of emerald and sapphire, unlike anything he had ever seen. The turtle's eyes, deep and wise, locked onto Juma's, and at that moment, he felt an odd sensation, as if the turtle was speaking to his soul. The villagers had many superstitions about sea creatures. Some believed turtles brought good luck, while others thought they carried bad omens. Juma, however, saw the creature for what it was, a living being in distress. With great care, he untangled the turtle and placed it gently back into the sea. Just as he was about to push it away, something miraculous happened. "Wait!" a deep, melodious voice echoed in the air. Juma's eyes widened in shock. He spun around, searching for the speaker, but there was no one else on his boat. "It is I," the turtle spoke, its mouth unmoving but its voice clear. "I am not an ordinary creature of the sea. I am Mwizi, the guardian of the ocean. You have saved my life, and for that I shall grant you one wish." Juma's heart pounded. A talking turtle. A wish. Surely, this was a trick of the ocean spirits. He hesitated, his mind racing with possibilities. He could wish for gold, a grand house, or endless fish in his nets. But instead, he thought of his village, his people, and the struggles they faced. With humility, he spoke, "Great Mwizi, if you truly have the power to grant wishes, I do not ask for wealth or fortune for myself. Instead, bless my village so that we may never suffer from hunger again." The turtle's eyes sparkled with approval. "A selfless wish," Mwizi said. "Because of your pure heart, your village shall never go hungry. But remember, wealth and abundance must be shared, or they will vanish like the tide." With that, the sacred turtle disappeared beneath the waves. The next day, Juma set out to sea as usual. But when he cast his net, something incredible happened. It overflowed with fish. Not just any fish, but the biggest, healthiest ones he had ever seen. He rushed back to shore, his small dhow nearly tipping over from the weight of his catch. The villagers were in awe. "How did you do this, Juma?" they asked. He smiled and told them the truth about Mwizi, the sacred turtle. Many doubted his story, but none could deny the miracle before them. From that day on, the ocean provided plentiful fish, and the village flourished. But Juma never forgot the turtle's warning. He ensured that every fisherman took only what they needed and that they respected the ocean's balance. In return, the sea remained generous, and the village never knew hunger again. For many months, the village thrived. The once starving families now had plenty to eat. Juma shared his catch with those in need, and the villagers respected the ocean's generosity. They took only what was necessary and let smaller fish return to the sea to grow. But as word of the village's prosperity spread, outsiders took notice. Fishermen from neighboring villages began arriving, eager to reap the rewards of Juma's miracle. At first, Juma welcomed them, teaching them to fish with respect and patience. However, some were not content with patience. Among the new arrivals was a man named Baraka, a cunning and ambitious fisherman. He envied Juma's success and did not believe in the story of Mwizi. "It is not magic," he told the others. "The ocean is simply full of fish. We must take as much as we can before it runs out." Baraka and his followers abandoned the traditional fishing methods. They began using massive nets, catching fish in numbers far greater than they needed. Some even used poison to kill large groups of fish at once, making the process faster. The ocean, once full of life, began to feel different. Juma noticed the change immediately. The water was murkier, the air smelled of decay, and the balance of the sea felt off. He tried to warn Baraka. "The ocean has given us a gift," Juma pleaded. "If we take too much, it will turn against us." But Baraka laughed. "The sea is endless, old man. It does not care how much we take." One fateful evening, Juma went out to sea as usual. But this time, when he cast his net, he caught nothing. He tried again. Nothing. For the first time since Mwizi's blessing, Juma returned home empty-handed. The next day, the same thing happened. And the next. Soon, the entire village realized the ocean had stopped providing. Panic spread like wildfire. The once plentiful waters became barren. Fishermen who had once pulled in nets overflowing with fish now found only empty water. Baraka and his men, who had hoarded and sold fish for profit, now had nothing left. "This is your fault," they accused Juma. "You must have angered the ocean." Juma did not argue. He knew what had happened. They had broken Mwizi's warning. Wealth must be shared, or it would vanish like the tide. With no other choice, Juma decided to do something dangerous. He would return to the ocean and call upon Mwizi. Under the light of the full moon, he sailed alone into the vast, empty waters. He called out, his voice carried by the wind. "Mwizi, guardian of the sea, I seek your wisdom." For a long time, there was only silence. Then, the water around Juma began to glow, and from the depths, the sacred turtle emerged once more. Mwizi's eyes, once warm and kind, were now filled with disappointment. "I warned you, Juma. The greed of men has upset the balance." Juma fell to his knees. "I tried to stop them. But now, our village suffers. Is there a way to make things right?" Mwizi was silent for a moment before speaking. "To restore the ocean's gift, the village must learn humility. Every fisherman must give back what they have taken. Only then will the sea forgive." Juma returned to the village and gathered everyone. He explained what Mwizi had told him. Some, like Baraka, scoffed. "How can we return what we have already taken?" But the elders, the women, and the children understood. They began throwing their last remaining fish back into the sea. Some took food from their own plates and offered it to the waves. At first, nothing happened. Days passed, and the hunger worsened. But Juma urged them to be patient. "The ocean remembers kindness," he told them. Then, on the seventh day, something miraculous happened. The tide rolled in heavier than before, and with it came an abundance of fish, larger and healthier than ever. The ocean had forgiven them. From that day on, the village never took more than they needed. Baraka and his followers, humbled by their near starvation, changed their ways. And Juma, now older and wiser, would often sit by the shore, watching his grandchildren play in the water. When they asked about the sacred turtle, he would only smile and say, "The ocean remembers kindness, but it never forgets greed."